All right, what is up, guys, and how you all doing today? It's Alpha Wolf here today. Another today, redundant. Anyway, so I thought I would do a little video on the Lineage 2 Revolution. The game's been out here in pretty much the west side of things since I believe the 17th of November, something along those lines. So I was going to do a review before a little while back when I got the game, about 2 weeks in. I think I reached level 50 and I thought I was going to do a review, but the review kind of failed because for some reason didn't record my voice. So you know what, I thought I'll leave it. I'll get myself a little bit more power, a little more time into the game, and then I'll you know just show you some gameplay from that. Um, so now I'm kind of back on, and just wanted to do a quick review, my own opinions on the game, if it's worth for you to try, because the game constantly releases, not constantly but quite often releases new servers. It is worth just waiting for a new one to open up and then popping onto that one. That allows you to keep up with power with the people that are on it rather than joining an old server, unless you have friends, of course. So if you guys are planning to jump into the game, I just thought I'll share some opinions, give you a better understanding on what the game is, or what I think, if it's actually worth your time, or if it's really really bad or whatever, like, or it's something that you kind of figure out later in the game and then you're kind of stuck with it because you've already invested time and potentially money. So right now what we're doing is just doing an experience dungeon. Right now I'm max level at the point, it's 120, so I'm 120. There's still mastery levels, as you can see here. If you click on your profile, you see here mastery 98, meaning I'm 100 and wait 138. That's technically my level. That just basically keeps going unless the new kind of um well, what is it? What am I gonna say? Until the new expansion comes out. I don't know what that will be, but that's when the level does go up. The game, you do get stronger pretty much every single day that you play, so it is not something that you can just jump on and instantly go to the top unless you spend the money. So I do recommend waiting for a new server to open up if you're going to make a new account. If you're a player who's not too sure how the late game is or what is there to do, and you just wanted to get my opinion before you invest more time into the game, there is quite a few things to do, and it all depends on how much you want to play. That's all dependent on you. So, all right. So first things first. The game is quite automatic. As you can see here, the game is playing itself. This is not me actually walking around. I do see the screen and I can play it manually, but at the bottom you see there's a spinning icon saying auto. You can turn that on and off. You basically just stand there, and then you can operate it yourself. So you do have the option, but of course, with the auto, you do have some advantages. You can actually leave the game running and auto farming, which isn't that beneficial in terms of actual experience. So if you're somebody who doesn't want to do that, you don't have to. I don't do it too often, where I just completely leave the game for hours and hours. You may have to do a late game because you have to do donations and you have to get the materials, and if you actually don't farm overnight, you won't be able to keep up. So a lot of the high guilds will require that you basically do it's compulsory essentially, to some extent, for you to actually do overnight farming whilst you're sleeping. So you can hook up BlueStacks or whatever on your laptop, and that's the way to do it. So the game overall is not that bad in terms of the auto. When I first started playing the game, I was a bit confused. I was not too sure if the automatic playing of the game will be boring. It's essentially like a management game to some extent. You do get stronger. You do have moments when you have to take control, but it's kind of babysitting your character to some extent, where you're kind of just looking at it, making sure it's not messing up and not walking off completely far away and basically getting nowhere. So you kind of got more babysitting to do than actual full-on playing, but you do have the option to do so. So that is all up to you, and of course, that is just what you do. So I'm not going to go too far into that. Overall, the game is very very pretty. To say, I mean, it's huge. The game is, to be fair, huge. You do get very familiar with areas, and you do kind of get bored to some extent. You're doing similar things, but the game is pretty much in its no, I wouldn't say infancy, but it is going to grow even more. There's a lot of areas that are not yet available, as far as I can tell. So, the game does have the ability to grow. It all depends on how the game developers are willing to, push the game to players and at what pace, and that is obviously up to them. But I do want them to not wait too long, because At this point, I'm pretty much making my character stronger each day, but I'm not progressing with the story. I'm not progressing with anything else apart from just my gear and stuff, and doing pretty much the same thing every single day. So I can imagine this game will get boring for some people because you essentially be doing the same thing. But it's entertaining enough, and the fact that you have a clan, people to talk to, and quite a few things to do on a daily basis, that you do actually have at least at least a few hours a day where you would actually get onto the game and enjoy yourself. So it's kind of a game where if you're a busy person that kind of just cannot sit on a game non-stop, you can play a fairly competitive game, just having it on the side and just pretty much let it do itself and still enjoy it. So that is something you should consider the kind of player you are, because if you're somebody that plays games for 6-8 hours a day and you don't mind playing the same game, this game won't give you too much to do. As the only thing that you can really do when you finish everything is core farming, which is essentially this part here. Hold on. There we go. Monster cores. That's my progress right now. Not too far, not horrible, but not great either. So essentially farm monsters with either summons or you find them in the actual wild and you kill them. That's one thing you have to do. So, there's enough things to do daily for you not to get bored. It just depends if you're willing to like the actual automatic thing, and I personally do not mind it. Like I said, the game is great in terms of the graphics. Now, every single day you get to do dungeons. So these here are the dungeons you can do. Some of them are just daily dungeons here, which is just killing basically a boss. Tower of Insolence, which is basically a progressively harder and harder and harder levels. Elite Dungeon, which is basically elite monsters, which is basically just farming. Then you have the Extraction Pit, which is just to get your elixirs up, so you basically gather plants. Temple Guardian gives you very good gear varnish, which means you can level up your gear much easier. Adena Vault is something you want to do every single day. That gives you a lot of Adena, which is basically the gold and the stuff you use for basically everything in the game, from combining, shards to make a summon scroll or summon whatever it's called, fragments and shit. But and then obviously Trials of Experience, which is something you will do much less once you get max level because there's no real point. And finally the Summoner Circle, which allows you to get your mount up. So there's a lot of things to do, a lot of things to consider. As obviously as the game goes by, you will learn what you need to do daily, and then you can pretty much just sit back and press what you need to press and just let it do its own thing, and just progress and speak to your clanmates, and that's pretty much going to be your day. But for somebody who goes to work and then comes back from work and just kind of chills out for a few hours, it's a perfect amount of time for me, so I'm not going to complain about that. The game obviously has the ranking system, the friend system, clan system, battlefield, which is basically an arena-based game where you defeat somebody and switch positions with them. So there's a lot to do. The game does look good, and the auto for me is not a really bad thing, which is why I've been playing it since late November. The game isn't difficult but there is some skill involved. That's something I do want to mention. If you go to the arena and you set your skills on automatic, you will not do as well as somebody who's really good at playing the game themselves, and they can just let it do its stuff. The only thing I do have a problem with is that the game still has quite a few bugs where you maybe go to arena and you're trying to hit somebody and you just don't register damage. So you have to realize that internet connection is something that plays a big part, where you may just stop attacking outright because your internet connection is not as good. Typically on a normal day-to-day basis, I do clear the dungeons, then at a certain time do the dungeons with the clanmates, which are the clan dungeons. We clear those for rewards. That was a crack in the voice, but so there's a few things to do every single day. I don't want to go too far into that. Now, the other thing I wanted to mention, guys, is the game pay to win, right? So, a lot of people will obviously say, is the game pay to win? That's something that's really important for people. And to be fair, the game, the way it is at the moment, with the PvP and such, you're not really paying to win anything, really. It's pay to progress faster, but you being stronger doesn't change too much. You'll be clearing dungeons with your clanmates anyway. Each dungeon gives you rewards, so you can clear maybe 2 normal dungeons instead of 1 really hard one, and get similar rewards. So it's not that big of a deal. Obviously, progress is something that you're gonna have. It all depends on how much of a show off you are with your clanmates. You may want to be stronger just to show off or whatever. But when it comes to big PvP events, a lot of the events, they kind of just level you out with everyone else, and everyone just gets to choose their class. They don't want to play for that event for 30 minutes. So the game isn't really too much pay to win, but there are exceptionally strong players that would beat me quite easily. who have clearly spent a lot of money. So there is that part of it, guys. So you do have to consider, what kind of game you're looking for. This is more of a relaxing game where you just progress and don't have to spend too much time on it, guys. So if you're into that, you may want to consider it. Overall, let's say the game is if I was to give a kind of a movie rating for it, I would say about 7.5 to 8. It's not perfect and it does lack a few things. But because of how simple it is and it's not super demanding, you can leave your milk for 2 days. You won't really lose too much. So, that kind of thing. That means that if you do have something busy to do and you cannot get on it, you're not going to cry. You mainly have to leave your clan, but then you just go to a less active clan and you're fine. So if you're really competitive, there's always a room for you. If you're really just relaxed, there's always somewhere for you to go. On servers about roughly 100,000 people. There's quite a few things to do, and there's always PvP zones and such. So the game will, continue to grow. So you feel free to kind of sit back and relax for a few months, and then jump back on when the game starts picking up, more momentum. I know maybe some news about expansions. But anyway, guys, so I just wanted to share some of my opinions in regards to the game. If overall, I'd say do give it a go if you want to try it. Read up on what you want to do. I'd recommend going first of all for a ranged class because I just feel like it's easy in clan dungeons. You're not kind of getting hit by a lot of the bosses that do a lot of damage very close. Obviously, you're more tanky, but at this point, I'd say range is probably better. Find out what class you want to play, guys. There's a good few classes. If we go to here, you can see how many classes are available. So you got the humans, the elves, the dark elves, and the dwarfs. The difference between them is not crazy, but they do have different skills, guys. So you have the warrior, rogue, and mystic for all of them, and then you have a good few classes, 6 each. So there's enough for you to do. You have 24 options, what kind of class you want to play, and some of them do have different playstyles, so that's something to consider. Anyway, guys, if you want more content for Lineage 2, do let me know. I can do some videos on the siege. So to be PvP, I can do random killing in the extraction pit just to do, some fun. Maybe do some duels with my clanmates so you can, see how I fare against someone who's 100,000 CP stronger. Maybe my class is better, who knows. So I can do a few videos on that, guys. So if you are interested, do let me know. Do leave a like. I don't know. I don't care. Just, find a way for me to find out that you do want more. If you don't like these kind of videos, guys, then obviously, again, do let me know because I'll do a little test video where I'll just let you guys know because to be fair, at the moment, I believe I've quit Lords Mobile. I may come back to it a little down the line, but once I got zeroed, guys, that's another story you don't know about. But once I got zeroed, I wasn't really too keen to keep going. Despite trying, I just didn't have the feeling for it, because I was just coming on to shield and that's pretty much it. And now that I have nothing to protect, there's nothing really driving me. So anyway, guys, I'm gonna leave it there. Thanks so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoy my opinions on the game. I do hope that you do give it a go, even for a few hours just to see what it is. The game does progress. There's more to do each hour you basically spend on it, guys. So you do give it a fair go. And if you are in Ken Rogal 6, whatever it is in the EU, do consider adding me as a friend. Letting me know and I'll find you. And then obviously you can see my name there, so you consider adding me. And then obviously if I have some room, I can add some of you too, guys. So anyway, I'm gonna leave it there. Thanks so much for your time. Have a great day. And obviously look out for the next video I make. And where the hell is the end video button? Did it not even record?